Hi guys, James here. New York City is going bankrupt. By November 1st, if they do not receive any money from the federal government, they are going to lay off 22,000 employees and cut services. They already defunded the police department, NYPD, of $1 billion, and now they're complaining about it takes longer for police to go to calls. And they also took $100 million from sanitation, and garbage is piling up all over the city. Go figure. They go, why? What's happening? Well, we had to cut routes because we don't have enough money to pay employees. They had to lay people off. That's just one of the problems. Of course, there's no tourism, there's no sports, there's no entertainment, nothing is open. Restaurants are operating at 50%, and 60,000 companies have already went bankrupt throughout the city. And you have a dictator governor, Andrew Cuomo, who won't allow the city to open up. Other parts of the state can open up, but New York City is not. They face a financial burden like never seen before by any city. Their debt is higher than New Jersey. That's how bad it is. The mayor keeps asking to get a loan for $10 billion to keep operational, so he doesn't have to lay off. But the governor and the Assembly and the Senate and the state do not wish to do so. So in the meantime, there's no option. So what all these people are doing, they're waiting for to see if Trump wins or Biden wins. Will determine how they get money. And that's the problem. So you got the governor who doesn't give a crap. He runs a dictatorship, and he just cares about watching COVID numbers that fluctuate, and that's all he cares about. But he doesn't care about people working and the effect that has on people. So New York City, I've been going there for, since I was like 14 or 15 years old. I used to take the train over, New Jersey Transit train over. It was eerie like Awana back then. Into New York City, into Penn Station, go to concerts at Madison Square Garden, see Led Zeppelin and The Who and other groups of the day, and sneak in the bars. Yeah, that's how it was back then. New York City was a hellhole. Prostitutes everywhere, drugs everywhere, homeless. It was bad news from the 70s into the mid 80s until it got cleaned up by Rudy Giuliani. But it was awful. It was an awful place. And we've returned there. Homeless everywhere. The city is dirty. Rats everywhere. Crime is up over 50%. Shootings are up 80%. 80% shootings. Murders have doubled. It's awful. The city has really gotten bad. And you blame COVID, but they changed a lot of the laws in there too. They changed the law and went into effect in January that the bail laws changed that you can't hold anybody. So you could walk into a store, grab the stuff off the shelf and walk out, and there's nothing you can do about it. You call the police, they'll arrest the guy, they'll take him down, and then they release him. Then he goes back on the street and does whatever he wants again. This goes on and on. It's a vicious cycle. They tried to clean up the city because they say too many minorities are being arrested. I'm not going to get into that, the racist crap. All I'm just telling you is that it's created such a problem in New York that people don't fear the police. And then you got the protesters everywhere. In the city, it's not safe. They rampage through the city and destroy a lot of the city. So you got a lot of store owners that don't want to open up. Restaurants are going bankrupt. Hotels, all the great hotels at New York are right there in Midtown. You see this big sign. If you look up to New York, you see the big sign. They're closed forever. We're losing a hotel a week in New York. And 100 hotels have been taken over by the city for homelessness. So instead of putting them in shelters, they're putting them in hotels, which cost $400 a night. And they got no money, but it's costing $400 a night to put these people in. So New York is in dire straits. You got the progressive mayor, who only did one good thing, I gotta tell you. He reopened the schools, but he didn't do it right. He's being slammed, and he should be slammed for a lot of stupidity. But he wanted to open the schools. He realized how important that was for people to get a job and get back and get families. Because you can't be around your kids 24/7, 365. You go crazy. You go crazy. So he saw that. It's the only good thing that he has done. Everything else, the city is a mess. He just turned his back. At the Black Lives Matter protest, he was all for all that and defund the police, and now, crime is up, and they had great leadership in the police department just walked out. They quit. So it's now you can't even go. You can go to the city, but there's nowhere to go. 50% of everything is closed. All the office towers, which held, companies like Google, Amazon, and Facebook, and Apple, and countless others, are staying home. They're not coming back to the city until probably next summer. They said June, July of 2021. So you have thousands of people that aren't coming back. You have a lot of people. The train station in my town was empty. Now there's probably maybe 25 cars there out of 150 cars. So it's More and more people are going back to the city to work. There's no doubt about it. Construction started. Construction was off for 6 months. And that was the big driver of the economy, was the construction. So you had all these construction guys, all these hotels going up, all these towers going up, residential towers. But now there's a big problem. We have over 10,000 apartments for sale in New York. That's in the 5 boroughs. And you have over 15,000 apartments for rent that are vacant. So there's a problem. So this year they expected 6,000 apartments to hit the market. Well, obviously it's not going to be 6,000. Maybe it'll be 1,500 or 2,000. But the city lives off of revenue from people going there. You know, I've been going there forever. I worked in New York City. I had my own business there this year, and I no longer go there. My business is gone because companies aren't going in. You know, they're all staying home. And I dealt with religious institutions. You can only have 10 people in a church or 10 people in a synagogue. It's so ridiculous. This is how it is. And there's an uptick of COVID, but it was because of a Jewish holiday that people came in from overseas, and it happened in different borough park in Brooklyn and Queens and a place in Lakewood, New Jersey. But that's it. But the governor is just so obsessed with this, and it's just driving everybody nuts. And he won't open up anything in the city. So what is the reason why you want to go to New York? There is none. There is no reason to go to New York right now. It's crime-ridden, it's dirty, and it's falling apart. Oh, the mayor says, New York's strong. Yeah, I get it. There's a lot of people who still live there. Don't get me wrong. But New York is the #1 location for people leaving in the nation, followed by New Jersey. Okay? Because all the New Jersey people work in New York. Everybody works around and lives in New Jersey works in New York. I worked in New York. I'm from New Jersey. And everybody in my town, same thing. All work in New York. But now it's just, there's nothing. There's hardly anything open. And there's no Broadway that's closed until next year. There's really they have sports, but you can't go watch it. They have baseball that nobody went to. They have football going on, you can't watch. They had hockey and basketball. You couldn't go to the game, so who gives a damn? That was money that generated people going up to restaurants before the game. People going to, go to the bars afterwards. Generated revenue, tax revenue. Dead. Nothing. So they had a rule in New York: if you wanted to have a bar open, you had to serve food. This couldn't have a bar. This is the governor. So what it did, they killed everything. Now they're working at 25%. Well, they can't make any money at 25%. You only can allow less than 10 people in your restaurant. They normally would hold 50. It's not worth it. So this affects everybody. It affects the suppliers. It affects the employees, the owners, the landlords. You have people just walking away from their businesses. Put a lock on it, screw it on. I can't pay the rent anymore. It's just how bad it's got. And the progressive mayor and the city council just doesn't get it. The governor just doesn't get it. They think that if Biden gets elected, that they're going to get this flow of cash in there. It's going to take care of everything. No, it's not. California is like $75 billion in debt. $75 billion. The state of New York is $25 billion in debt. New York City, another $10 billion in debt. It's really shameful. I've never seen anything like it. I've been through the World Trade Center. I've been through that. I've been through how that happened. I worked there, and I know how bad the city was. Everybody came back. This is a totally different animal. This is not like 9/11. This is totally different because it affects so many people. But we're being disenfranchised because the COVID is not as bad as everybody says it really is. That's the problem. You have a better chance of getting hit by a mail truck than you do getting COVID, really, if you wear a mask and wash your hands and social distance. But this is not the word we were told. We're told that you will die. You will die. And it doesn't, we have, maybe 7 million people that have caught COVID in this country. Out of 330 million, it's not even 1%. Okay? That's the problem. Where the media has hyped everything up, which has destroyed the people. I don't want to go to New York. I'm not afraid of getting COVID, but there's nothing to do. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. You have to wear a mask all the time in New York, or you get a ticket. You get a ticket for not wearing a mask. I can't wear a mask all the time. I wear it when I go into a store in Jersey, or if I take the train somewhere. Yeah, I wear it because I have to. But as soon as I can, I have to take it off because I need fresh air. But that's just me. But New York is going to be dead for a long time. I don't expect New York to come back, even if there's a vaccination, because now Now the big thing, the governor said, well, we don't trust a vaccination coming from Trump, so we're going to test it first. So we're not, even if we had a vaccination, say, in January or February, New York City is not going to open up until sometime in September. It's going to take so long for it to happen. It's going to take so long for people wanting to come back. And even if the businesses come back, there has to be a need for the businesses for their services. If there's no need for the services, there's no need for businesses. So now the Democrats also want to raise the taxes. They want to put a wealth tax in New York. They want to have pair-tier tax, which is if you own an apartment in New York and you don't live there all the time, they want to tax you. Even though you already pay property taxes, you don't live there, they want to tax you again. So now they want to have a wealth tax to really drive everybody away. New Jersey instituted a millionaire's tax. Oh, if you make over $1 million, you have to pay 7.5%. Before it was, it was a little less than that. You had to make over $4 million to make that kind of percentage. So this is what they're loans. California wants to put a wealth tax to pay for their debt, but you're going to drive away small business. A lot of businesses pay one tax as a individual because they don't want to pay two taxes. But this is what New York wants to do. I love New York. I've been going there for my whole life. When I wasn't working, I was just hanging out in New York because there's always so much to do. So many restaurants to go to, so many stores, walk around the city, you see things going on. Go to the park, Bryant Park, go to Central Park. Now there's nothing. It's standing gone. If you like my video, please subscribe. Have a good day.